Oh boy, what have I gotten myself into? This is a lot of plastic. Welcome back to the Workbench Geeks. It's DOS. I know you saw a big old heap of mess of gray plastic on my desk just now, and I'm going to go over what that is because I've gotten myself into maybe over into my head. I'm not entirely sure yet. It's going to be a lot of painting, I know that, and a lot of gold. Maybe, I'm not sure. I have an idea for a paint scheme for it, but let's go over what it actually is I'm doing. So, what I'm in the process of going to show you on the wonderful table is my Adeptus Custodes army for Warhammer 40,000. For those of you who do not know what Warhammer 40,000 is, it is a tabletop game made by a bunch of British people. That is very depressing if you read the lore. The lore is very depressing. It takes place in the 41st millennium in the grim dark future of humanity, where we have expanded out into the stars and crap keeps happening to us, and not in a good way. So, what are the Adeptus Custodes? Where do I start without going into a whole slew of events and lore that happened in 40K? To put it simple, there is an emperor of mankind. The emperor created these beings known as the Adeptus Custodes, and they are essentially super soldiers of his own DNA. They were once children of extremely high and noble families on what they call Terra, aka Earth, who gave up their kids to the Imperium, to the Emperor of Mankind, to become essentially his best friends. Because the Emperor is on a golden throne, and he's got nobody to talk to. So he made the Custodes. And the Custodes are not just warriors. These guys are philosophers, artists, probably God knows what else, but they are supposed to be the perfection of mankind. Well, let's just say a lot of crap happened during the 30th millennium, so 10,000 years prior to 40K. And let's just say this Custodes kind of failed at their job. So now they are proactively trying to seek redemption in the 41st millennium, where they're out killing aliens and demons and God knows what else. But they're a cool ass army to build. And I've got a lot of them. And we're going to go over that. Ready? Starting off with what's in the back there. This is the Blade Champion. Or the Blade Guard Champion, depending on how you want to put it. It's a cool model. Comes with two different styles. He can either do these two-handed greatsword, or he has two single-hand swords. And I want to get another model so I can do the single-hand swords. But he is currently going to be my leader for my Custodes until I get the actual leader of the Custodes and or the Forge World model for what essentially would be their Primarch, who is essentially their gene seed, with the Emperor's their gene seed. That's really weird, the lore. Anyways, yeah, he's currently primed in black, and I'm going to show you later on what the color scheme I'm going for this army. So, but yeah, that's just starting off. We'll set him right there for now. And on to the next one, which is also back here. I'm going to use just one of them because I only have 9 of these. These are the Sisters of Silence. They're known as, because one, they don't talk. They use essentially sign language when they talk, and when they do use their sign language, they have these little speakers that convert their sign language into actual words so that people can hear them, which is kind of cool. I wish there was that was happening right now, because I think that's a badass idea. I'm going with a brass and purple. The tassels are going to be white. I'm not sure about the fur or the hair or the skin. I'm going to do multiple skin tones. I think I want a variety. But yeah, those are the Sisters of Silence. They're also really cool on the tabletop because they cancel out what are called psychic abilities, basically characters that have psychic abilities, because there's this thing called the warp, and it's basically a demon realm with psychic powers, and they cancel that kind of crap out, which is cool. So let me get the next ones out. This one might take me a second because I gotta get like 10 of these guys on the board. Okay, next up we have the Custodian Guards. These are basically the foot troops of the Adeptus Custodes. I bought these off of a friend, so they are all pre-built and glued to their bases, which I'm going to try and remove them from their bases eventually and put them on my own bases because there's a way I want to do the bases. The cool thing about the custodes, I should say, not the custodians. I don't like, because it makes it sound like they're meant to clean stuff. They're not really. These guys are meant to guard the Emperor of Mankind, for Pete's sakes, and to give him advice. These guards come with the Aquilum shield and this double-barreled bolter blade power sword thing. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like. My head, in the lore, the custodians are equipped with the custodian spear. This thing. It's a bolter, it's a gun, it's a spear, and it's going to ruin your day. And I love it. I think these are actually really stinking cool compared to the swords and the axes they have access to. But I really like the spears. But except for one guy, he's got to have his banner. You know, you got to have a banner, man, bearing the Emperor's Aquila plus some drapery. I will paint these up and have them have script on them. You won't be able to read it, obviously, because 1, it's too small. 2, I have a really tiny brush, and 3, I do not have that state of a hand to actually write on there. For those of you who do, I commend you, honorably. Good job. But yeah, these are the Custodian Guards. They're, like I said, these guys are basically the ground troops of the Adeptus Custodes. Let me get the next ones. All right, so these guys are known as the Custodian Wardens. I love these models. These models to me are so stinking cool. I love the Custodian Warden models. 1, they are different from the Custodian Guards. 2, they've got togas, essentially. That's what I'm going with. There's a very Greek, Roman imperial vibe to these guys. And I think it will go well with my paint scheme. So, but they have the axes. Again, not a fan of the axes. I have another box of these where I'm going to put spears on them just because I like the spears. They've also got daggers. I keep forgetting the Custodes have daggers. I think a lot of people forget the Custodes have daggers on their characters, which is another attack. So, in the tabletop, and I'm just going to say this right now, everything you see on this table that comes up here, they have an attack. Those attack, mind you, these are on D6s, okay? They hit on 2s. I have essentially a really good chance to hit non-stop, which is awesome. So, but yeah, Custodian Guard, or the Custodian Wardens, my bad. Very cool guys. I love the whole aesthetic of these dudes. These dudes are just so cool. So let's go ahead and put these back and get the next ones out. Okay, these next ones, honestly, I don't know a lot about them. Only thing I really know is their names and basically what they do. These are the Adeptus, the Sagittarian Custodes. Basically, their whole job is to shooty bang bang. And you cannot get these at a regular GW or Games Workshop store. Because, if you notice, the plastics, 2 different kind of plastics. One is actually resin. The other is the standard Custodian Guard model. So, I know what you're thinking, then how do I get this? There's a place called Forge World, also owned by Games Workshop, where you buy this sort of thing for the Custodes. Will I use these guys a whole lot? Probably not. Because, 1, I'm still learning this army, and these guys are a little bit extra for my tastes. So, we'll probably hold off on that until later. Other than that, I hear they have great shooting abilities, and basically are your marksmen of your Custodes, Custodian Guards. They're just another infantry unit just to lay lead down the field towards your opponents in the game. So, that's the Sagittarians. Next! So, these next ones, I have no idea what they're called. Again, buddy sold me this. Told me what they were. I've completely forgotten what they were, but essentially, I know they are custodians. I also know that they are essentially the jetpack guys. These guys can jump around. And basically, these are jetpacks that help them fly around the battlefield. There's only 3 of them. They are a Forge World model, so you cannot get them at Games Workshops. You have to buy them online. The resin is very nice, though, and very nicely detailed. Not real flimsy. I was expecting, like, very brittle. Nope, these guys are very nice. I do like the kind of pistols. Those are pretty cool. Short shield, it's very very nicely done. I'll give them that. I've always been very skeptical of resins that really aren't other. They're pour molds, not 3D printed. But these are very nice indeed. I can't wait to start painting these ones up. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna paint those wings. Man, that's gonna be difficult. So, next in the box. Alrighty, next up we have is the Alaran Terminators, or Alaris, depends on who you ask. Anyways, these are the heavy-duty elites. These guys, you can tell these guys are a bit chunkier than the other custody guys, and they mean business. Yeah, these are the kind of guys that you are done screwing around with, and they're gonna wipe the battlefield with you. It's bad enough that each custodian in the lore, mind you, is basically a one-man army, and you put them in even harder armor and harder hitting, weaponry. Lord help you. Next. Alrighty. And obviously, as you can tell, the room is getting a little bit crowded. But I'm going to use this one here as an example of what these are. These are the Veritas Praetors. Basically, dudes on fancy-ass sky bikes. They have stands, so they do look like they're flying around. They don't just sit on the ground. Like the other guys who have just bases. I think these are cool. I cannot wait to get these painted up because I have a really cool idea for them. So I know what you're thinking. You got this dude on the bike. How am I supposed to paint him, his spear, get all this cool detail done? Well, that's because I have simply not glued him in place yet. I'm trying to do this without breaking anything, and I'm scared. There we go. That's the one. That's the sound I wanted to hear. There we go. Okay, so I do this with a lot of my models. I do not glue them to their bases yet, just so I can, have ease of paint. I will probably end up putting a hole in his butt, even though he's already got one, and then I'm going to put him on, like I have the Sisters of Silence back there, on a cork and pin, and paint him as he sits like this, and then have the bikes separate, so I can get the seat. Most of it probably won't be seen, but still, I am a stickler for my details. Oh, I'm really excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm very kind of excited. These guys are really cool because they're like jousty, and these are power spears essentially, and they light up, power jousts, and they have lightning effects and stuff like that. I can't wait to get them painted. It's gonna be so cool. All right, give me a minute because the next two I have got to clear this table for, because if I don't, I'm going to have absolutely no room to put these on the table, and you guys are going to see the coolness that comes with it. So, give me a moment. I'll be right back. I told you I needed to make some room. Okay, before I go any further, let me clarify on the Veritas Praetors, the guys on the bikes. Only reason I have just the bikes done, I still have to build the other dudes, obviously. That's why I've only got one dude who's actually built. So, let me grab what I'm going to talk about next. We're going to do this. All right, so next up we have a box of resin plastic. Oops, and there goes the Space Marine. So, what's in the box, right? Well, hello, goodbye Space Marine. What's in this box is what is known as a dreadnought. A dreadnought in 40K is not what you think it is in the human world. It is essentially a unconscious healing body that is currently basically being used as a battery. Where's the head? Hang on, I gotta try and find the head here. Where's that? Ah, there it is. Yes, there it is. This is the Custodes head, the middle one. Yeah, like I said, he is basically a husk of a person This is the spear. I'm not going to take all this out because this is really fragile and I don't want to break it. I just wanted to let you guys know, hey, this is also what I got. This is known as the Achilles Dreadnought. Contemptor Dreadnought. He comes with the spear and like a bolter for his arm. It's really cool. I've never worked with Forge World resin, so this will be a first for me. So, and also because I also bought the secondhand, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm getting into. Lord help me. That's the big boy. That is the Palace Gravitac tank for the Adeptus Custodes. Also another Forge World model, not a toy. And yeah. Oh boy. This should be interesting. I've never done any vehicle before, so Lord only knows what I'm going to do here. From the looks of things, I'm going to need to get a hobby saw because these are some thick sprues, and I'm pretty sure my nippers are not cutting through that. So, yeah, that is my Adeptus Custodes army. Now, let me get the Space Marine that fell. So, my little Space Marine here has been my test model. I am seriously considering, let me grab a very fine tip paintbrush here. So I'm liking this bone color. This is ivory from Pro Acryl. This bronze color, which is just bronze from Pro Acryl as well. And then not this green, not the lighter green, the darker green with this green as a highlight. So this is, I think, just green. It's green over black, black primer, with the bright yellow green as a highlight color. So, because to me it seems like a very royal color. So it fits the Adeptus Custodes pretty much. I know it kind of looks like either Dark Angels or Salamanders. It's one of those two greens, it looks like to me. But I think it's going to be a cool combination with the bronze and having a light bronze as a highlight and maybe some silver on the edges. Who knows? So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. This is going to take me a while. But the cool part about having Custodes is they are not a large army. I know what you're thinking. Neil, you just showed us, or Doss, you just showed us a whole crap ton of plastic. Yeah, that's just Custodes. Imagine if this was a Space Marine army. A bunch of these kind of guys on this table. I'd need a bigger table to show you all the models. I guarantee it. Mind you, there's still a few Custodian models I don't have, which I would not mind having, that are Forge World, mind you, but we won't go into that. But still, so I got some more building to get to, some prep work to get to, and some more test painting to do, and then hopefully you guys will see a completed model in the next few weeks. So let's see what happens. In the meantime, I want you all to stay safe, be nice to each other, be kind to each other, help each other out, and I will catch you guys on the geeky side. Later.